I was an anthropologist with the Cape York Land Council, and that's a job I really enjoyed. Because I am a broom girl, basically. I'm from the bush, and I just love that work. We're just hanging out with TOs all day, jumping in the four-wheel drive and just off we go, talking to them, trying to get from them what's valuable to them, and then pass that on to somebody. Broome is my traditional country. That's Yari country up there. Born and bred there. My children are born there as well. Went to high school there. So that is, though I have other connections, that's the country that's important to me. So I just want to speak briefly then about our topics. One of them is more Indigenous people in anthropology and applied anthro as well, which, as I said, I really thoroughly enjoyed, and I don't know why I aren't doing it, to be honest. Well, I do, I might touch on that a little bit, but yeah. And the other one is a little bit of what Patreon's already raised, the views and engagements with anthropology. So, funny sort of fact, the last time I was here in UWA, I was failing anthropology. It was quite a while ago. So it's good to be back, but I also didn't, I guess, like anthropology that much back then. So the question might be to pose, what was the problem back then, and how did I fix that? Because here I am now doing anthropology in a big way. So there were two problems. One was that I expected to go from Broome to the city of Perth and be awesome, like fine with that, and I wasn't. Because, big city for me, Perth. Sort of person that even this morning before I jumped in the Uber, I had to ask my cousin, like, do I sit in the front or do I sit in the back? I don't know where I go. And my cousin told me, she said, in the back, Tahne. Okay, no, so I did that. Not catching many Ubers still today. But one of the things then that fixed that is going to a regional university. So many years later, I then went to JCU. So it's strange that I'm lecturing there now, coming full circle, I suppose. So I'm a big advocate for regional universities and giving that opportunity to people. I know I don't want to say, all Bucklers live in the bush or whatever. I know there's 37% or something that's living in metropolitan areas. But that's surely going to help to have strong programs in the regions as well as the cities. A second problem then, the reason I didn't like anthropology so much at UWA, no shade on UWA, is really me having a bit of a shallow understanding of anthropology, not doing it for long enough. And I think there's a huge problem with people's conceptions of anthro. They're not knowing enough about it before they make a judgment on it, I guess. So, in terms of what fixed that, so the regional museums fixed that. Problem two was getting a deeper understanding. So one of those sources of a deeper understanding for me in the early parts was CNTA's masterclass that they did for native title anthropology. When I didn't have really much idea what native title was, it was a little taster. Anthropology was back then. I left it, did something else, but it was always in the back of my mind. Native title is an option if I wanted to do that. The other thing was actually doing ethnography rather than just reading it and watching it. Like you watch these films and you think, oh gosh, it's strange. It's sort of, as I said before, spying on people or something else. Is that what they do? They just spy on people. But actually doing that ethnographic work, having that full appreciation by participating, that was a turnaround for me. And working with consultants, so later on now, working in a land council, and the lovely thing about the Cape York United claim, it was hugely intense, huge claim, half the Cape, and really, I don't really have much to compare it to, but it was rapid fire. You've got 4 consultants in a boundary meeting, and we used to get a t-shirt every time a route was determined, so I happily say I've got a cupboard full of t-shirts from this one claim, the one claim bus, with everybody jumping off at various stages. And yeah, just learnt a lot about the trade of, asking the right questions, doing it quick. For a consultant who's working thousands of dollars a day. So, you learn things like, sitting there consultant in the training centre and going and getting ideas and bringing the TOs to this consultant so they can bang out their interviews and what questions are they asking. So yeah, time efficiency sounds really boring, but that's something that they probably don't teach you when you're swanning around looking at your own research project for whatever, master's PhD stuff. So that was a skill to learn. So yeah, the hook was doing ethnography and staying with anthropology. Then after that was when I got a chance to make my own argument using anthropology, and it was an argument that was a unique perspective for wild artifacts is what I argued for. And I could not have done that without invoking, local cosmologies, a really specific problem. And it wasn't a legal argument, it wasn't anything else, it was based in cosmology, and that was sort of a proud moment for me that I did that through anthropological training. What else? I'll go through because I know you want to hear these other mob and you're probably tired because it's like at the end of the day. So, yeah, getting more Indigenous people actually might address the negative views like in a very basic way. To see more like Indigenous faces in this crowd would be wonderful, and a really pretty simple way to address that image problem, I guess. Because you've got plenty of black anthros in the US, and I think obviously First Nations societies, there's a few other issues there, but I think that's a good start, right? And what else do I want to say before I pass this on? What I say to, just a little inside information, so what I say when I'm trying to make a defence of anthropology, it's very hard, but like I was at IATSIS the other month, and it was sort of coming out for me because there's a lot of room mob there, and I was like, oh hey, by the way, anthropology, sorry, not sorry. So that was really, that was nerve-wracking for me, right, to come out to my own community and say, hey, I'm doing that, sorry. But they were good. This was a surprise. They were super curious, and I tried to say, this is what it's about, and this is what we can do. We can get some skills happening, and you don't have to do anthropology, but maybe you can, I don't know, learn how to do this other stuff. And so the sentiment at IATSIS from my mom and others was real curiosity about it. That's what I'm saying, is that I don't want to say it's ignorance about anthropology, and if only you knew anthropology like I did, everything would be fine. It's not that, it's just sort of, learning a bit more about it, and there was a curiosity there, and there was a curiosity at the First Nations workshop that Janella and I ran for CNTA, where we invited a number of First Nations people just in this sort of curious space. We had a couple of First Nations actual anthros working at Land Council, but the rest were just sort of testing the waters, I suppose, and as I said, huge curiosity about it. My only sort of, I don't want to talk solutions or anything, but I think the building of skills, I don't know if you want to call it junior, senior, whatever, but I think there should be some really transparent way of identifying someone with, can you just collect the data, take the GPS, collect the data? Can you, I want to say justice, it's difficult, but can you cook and drive the car and wrangle the Explorer and whatever? Can you do that? Okay, great. So you get your little stage one. Stage two, maybe, can you do interviews sensitively with people, elicit that data in a sensitive way? And then third one, can you come up with that robust methodology? Can you write the report? I always think that's the hard one, write the report. Because a lot of us, you have to have that huge literacy. I was lucky that my mum drummed it into my head from very young. Read, don't be like me. And be a good reader and writer. I think that's it. The other one, of course, is the consultant who can sit in the court. We don't all want to be consultants, because I think, frankly, that you are like superheroes. I could never do all those skills that you need in your and then go and sit in a witness box. So just put it out there. Not all of us want to do that, but we certainly want to. I think we're capable and happy to, as I said, from cruising around in the four-wheel drive with TAs, that's my happy place, so why not get more of us doing that?